Yo, Chief J, you got a Deathwish or something? What are you doing on that crazy two-wheeled contraption of yours? Let's talk about that. What, you ride a motorcycle? You crazy? Oh man, those things are dangerous. I know blobbity blobbity blah's brother's uncle's cousin's friend who got killed riding one of those things. Oh, you couldn't catch me dead on one of those. Are you one of those adrenaline junkie dudes that pops wheelies on the interstate and stuff? You must have a Deathwish. Alright, so all these things are things that I've heard in the past. And those are all things that you have heard if you already ride a motorcycle, and you will hear if you are thinking about riding a motorcycle and you tell people about it. And there's something kind of interesting to me about that whole line of thought of like, if you ride a motorcycle, you must have a Deathwish. You must be crazy. I'm gonna get this out of the way at the beginning. Yeah, there are absolutely motorcycle riders who basically are adrenaline junkies, and they use motorcycles to help them in their pursuit of doing dangerous things. That's just the way it is. There are riders that are more daring and ride more dangerously than others. For every guy that's got no helmet popping a 100-mile-an-hour wheelie on a leader bike, there's, you know, the guy that full high-vis gear on like a V-Strom or something that's who just never does anything that's potentially dangerous. Just like with car drivers. There are those drivers that you watch and you go, oh my god, that's nuts. And then there are other car drivers that they're like always going 5 under. In my experience, the vast majority of motorcyclists are pretty responsible people. You know, of course, there's going to be those outliers to one end or the other of the spectrum, but pretty much everybody else falls somewhere in the middle. I mean, I like to think of myself as pretty much falling in the middle, but Chief J, how can you justify riding a motorcycle as being like a safe behavior? I mean, it's still crazy to do. To quote the dude.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
You know, the thing is, I'm not going to debate you that motorcycles are as safe as cars because, you know, the fact of the matter is they're not. And I mean, aside from some freak accidents, if I get in a crash on my motorcycle, that exact same crash in a car is probably going to be safer. And I accept that. The thing is, to me, this is my norm. I'm used to this. And for pretty much any motorcycle rider, aside from someone that's just brand new starting out, you get used to it. You get used to, you know, being essentially strapped on a motor, sitting a couple feet away from cars that outweigh you by, you know, I don't know, like 6-to-1. You get used to that. Like, I'm not uncomfortable right now surrounded by vehicles. I'm cautious and I'm aware of them, but I'm not like freaking out like, oh my god, that SUV right there is like 2 feet away from me. You just get used to it. It becomes a normal thing. And the way I see it is, as long as you're riding responsibly and safely, particularly when you're in, you know, situations like this, any sort of situation where you have cars around, it's not, I mean, I don't have a Deathwish, and I don't see this as a very dangerous activity. If I saw a guy that's like switching lanes constantly and, you know, just going nuts with the way he rides and doesn't have any sort of protective gear or anything, see, to me, that'd be outside of my comfort zone. I wouldn't be willing to ride like that. That would be my, that guy has a Deathwish moment. And I totally understand that, you know, probably the majority of car drivers would see motorcycles as being too dangerous, just in general, no matter what. And I'm fine with that, but I don't have a Deathwish, you know. I'm not some crazy adrenaline junkie. And honestly, I don't even feel right really judging them. Because, like I said, I ride, you know, I don't always wear high-vis gear. I pretty much always wear all my gear, but I've been known to occasionally, you know, do a little bit of speeding or whatever. and you know, that's my limit, so to speak. I know my limit. I know what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do, and I leave it at that. If you're, you know, a car driver and you consider motorcycles crazy and whatnot, then, you know, honestly, I don't have a problem with it, because I don't think you should be on a bike. If you're not comfortable with it, you know, it's better that you stay away, because you're probably just going to get hurt. I don't like being at this truck's blind spot. Let's get up here a little. So, you know, that's the thing, is everybody's got their own definition of normal. This is mine. I don't consider myself crazy. I take as many precautions really as I can. I always wear, you know, a helmet, and I try to be as aware of traffic around me as possible. And I know that, you know, sometimes something could happen. I mean, what if I'm next to a truck or something, and that truck has a blowout, and all of a sudden, just before I have a chance to react, he just drives into me? Well, you know, that's fine. But on the flip side, I've had a couple of situations where if I was in a car, I would have been toast. I would have had an accident if I was in a car compared to a motorcycle, just because of the physical constraints of a car. You know, I'm going to point back to a couple videos ago when I had that close call on my DRZ. The fact of the matter is, you know, yeah, if I was driving a car with good brakes, I would have been alright, but if I was just driving like my old Civic that I used to drive, the brakes, I guarantee you that car would not have stopped in time, and I would have rear-ended that BMW. Or I have another time that wasn't on film where I ended up having a car pull out in front of me, and I had to basically split the gap between the car because I didn't even have time to brake, because they pulled out at the last possible second, and I had a car in the lane next to me, so I split on the line. In a car that I couldn't have done that. I didn't have the space, and I would have just slammed into them. So it's all a matter of perspective, I guess is what I'm trying to say. For all the non-motorcycle people out there, most of us don't have a death wish. And I don't even think the guys that ride like crazy, I don't think they have a death wish in the terms of wanting to die, obviously. It's just, you know, a level of what you're willing to accept as far as danger, and also the consequences of it. Different people are willing to do different things. Different people have different levels of what they consider to be too dangerous. I guess it's all just different levels of risk versus reward, and what you like and what you're willing to do. So anyways, guys, this has probably gone on for too long. Probably chopped it all up in editing anyways, right? I think this red light's a good place to end it, so thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.